Hello, I'm honored to be here on behalf of the 2024 Reece Collection Acquisition Committee to extend a warm welcome to everyone in the audience. The Reece Collection Acquisition Committee has traveled to New York City to purchase artwork for the Mark H. Reece collection every 3 to 4 years for the last 60 years. We are all extremely grateful for this experience and excited to finally review our acquisitions with you. First, I would like to give a special thanks to the people who helped make this program possible. Vice Provost of the Arts and Interdisciplinary Initiatives, Christina Ciurano, and the Office of Provost, G.D. Wilson, a 1969 alumni of the trip, has graciously created an endorsed travel fund for the program. The Reece family and Mark H. Reece for his visionary leadership in starting this unique experience. The Dishner family for their support. Janet David Hughes, an alumni of the 1965 buying trip, created an endorsed fund for the purchase of a female identifying artist. Christine Turney, a Wake Forest class of '93 alumni and New York Gallery owner, graciously guided our experience. We would also like to thank several alumni of the past art buying trips who provided support along the way. Thank you to the University Art Collections, Art Department, and the Office of Communications and External Relations. Lastly, we would like to say a huge thank you to our advisors on this trip, Dr. Jennifer Finkel and Dr. Jay Cody, for their continued support and guidance throughout our process. Now I'm going to hand it over to Jane to introduce our themes for the trip.
As you may know, the collection of works we are about to show you is selected to reflect the times, that is, the last 3 years. When selecting these pieces, we all decided to continue the mission of the 2021 buying trip by purchasing only works by minority and women artists. The collection, as it stands, is still largely white and male, notably reflecting the times and culture in which other generations of students purchased for the collection. The Western art world and its literature and criticism has been, by and large, exclusionary for a long time, but luckily that continues to shift. When selecting art within this framework, we wanted to focus in large part on how the artists' identities and the social groups they belong to intersect with and continue in spite of social power structures that work against them. The pieces range from direct critique of these structures to joy and independence from them. We felt as though these ideas, which have existed in art to some degree for a very long time, are especially important now. Another particular thing we wanted to do was expand the media represented in our collection. In particular, we were interested in mixed media pieces, which admittedly is something of a catch-all term, and textiles. I'm excited to say that none of our purchased works have the same medium as each other, and many use materials in a particularly thoughtful way to contribute to their content. And now I'll turn it over to Jason to introduce our first work.
Hello, my name is Jason Najjar, and I'm a senior art history and economics double major with a minor in Arabic. I'm excited to announce our acquisition of Melissa Cody's Summer Bloom. We would like to extend a thank you to Garth Green and Gallery, who represents Melissa. Melissa Cody is a female-identifying, fourth-generation Navajo textile artist. Cody grew up on a Navajo reservation in Loop, Arizona, and weaves on a traditional Diné loom. Cody specializes in the Germantown revival style, which is characterized by its use of vibrant colors and intricate patterns. These vibrant colors were not traditionally used by Navajo weavers, but were the product of the forced migration of the Navajo people. During and after the Long Walk, Navajo artists did not have access to the natural materials that were previously used and were instead given manufactured wool made in Germantown, Pennsylvania. The introduction of synthetic materials opened new horizons of experimentation within the context of confinement. Cody's integration of digital technology mirrors this historic adaptability and willingness to incorporate external innovations into Navajo weaving. By using modern tools to plan and execute her designs, Cody continues the legacy of the Germantown revival style by embracing new, available technologies to expand the expressive possibilities of Navajo textiles, much like her ancestors did with the introduction of industrially dyed yarns. This ongoing evolution underscores the dynamic and resilient nature of Navajo artistic traditions, demonstrating the capacity to both preserve cultural identity and adapt to new creative technologies. Cody also incorporates traditional Navajo subject matter in her work, with a creative twist, portraying historic themes and motifs in novel and innovative ways. Her work is often read within the context of motion and the pixelated or static video game aesthetic of the 1980s. Cody's Summer Bloom aligns with her signature style in some regards, while also showcasing a unique departure in its softer palette and more organic motifs, highlighting her versatility and creative evolution as an artist. The rightmost and bottom section of Summer Bloom incorporates the traditional diamond pattern often seen in Navajo textiles. Here, Cody is using traditional Navajo subject matter, but in a contemporary manner through her use of color and repetition. The 5 flowers in the upper section of the textile, in addition to the leftmost section, showcase Cody's incorporation of the video game aesthetic of the 1980s. The central figure in Cody's Summer Bloom is a Yay figure. The Yebuche ceremony is a sacred Navajo ritual that forms a central part of the Nightway ceremony, which is a healing ceremony intended to restore balance and harmony to an individual and the community. In this ceremony, dancers embody the Yebuche, or holy people, and perform intricate dances and chants that are believed to bring the power of these deities into the physical world. The central figure in Cody's Summer Bloom is a representation of one of these dancers or holy people. Navajo textile artists often depict scenes from the Yebuche ceremony in their work. However, they do so with a sense of reverence and discretion, often choosing not to reveal every detail of the sacred ritual to the market, and thereby preserving the sanctity of the ceremony. Cody's Summer Bloom is particularly notable for its contemporary interpretation of the Yay figure. Through this work, Cody not only preserves the cultural significance of the Yebuche ceremony, but also reinterprets it in a way that speaks to the evolving identity of the Navajo people. We felt that there was a gap in the Mark H. Reece collection of student-acquired contemporary art in terms of its representation of Native American artists. In addition, we felt that Summer Bloom would prove to be a great educational tool, especially when read in conversation with the Navajo textiles at the Lamb Museum. Acquiring Summer Bloom is very much of the times, as Native American art, both contemporary and historic, is becoming ubiquitous in the museum space and the art market. Cody currently has her first major solo exhibition at the MoMA PS1, and I encourage anyone who will be in New York this summer to visit the show. We are thrilled that future generations of students will interact with and learn from Melissa Cody's work.
Hello, my name is Bridget Beal, and I'm a senior majoring in studio art with minors in art history and cultural heritage and preservation studies. I'm delighted to announce our acquisition of Untitled 3, Dolly by Adebunmi Badebo. This piece is a multimedia artwork made with donated black hair, cotton, rice, indigo, blue dyes, and archival materials embedded in handmade paper. Badebo is an interdisciplinary artist who received her BFA from the School of Visual Arts in New York. We would like to thank her and Nicole Vasso Gallery for their support in this acquisition. Badebo works with a wide variety of media, including paper, ceramics, sound, and film. Additionally, Badebo's practice is heavily influenced by the archival record of her family's ancestry in Nigeria and enslavement in America. Her ancestors grew indigo and rice on the True Blue plantation in South Carolina. Badebo incorporates these materials along with soil, bones, water, hair, and archival materials into her art. The process of paper making is extremely site-specific for Badebo. When making paper, she prepares a vat of pulp made from donated hair and raw cotton. She strains the pulp through water collected from the river on the True Blue plantation. She then forms the material into organic forms and dyes the paper with indigo. Lastly, she silk screens fragments of her family's 19th and 20th century photographs and archival primary sources found on the plantation. Through this process, she is able to connect with the land in which her family endured oppression. Badebo's work directly confronts the prejudices of archival practices while also aiming to restore Black power and resistance. She aims to uncover Black narratives in her work by making archival materials more concrete. She reimagines Indigenous crafts through her use of experimentation and papermaking in her practice. Her process for papermaking is meditative and transformative. Our experience and trip focused on diversifying the collection in both artists and mediums. Untitled 3 Dolly is unlike any work in our collection. This piece is very textural and entirely dependent on process. In person, you can truly see the craftsmanship of the paper and how everything is layered and embedded together. We are very excited to have this form of medium in our collection, as it shows a contemporary use of paper and explorations within papermaking. Untitled 3 Dolly relates to our collection university through Wake's Forest history and participation in the impression of enslaved individuals. Badebo's materials are mostly sourced directly from the True Blue plantation in order to investigate the history of traumas and resilience that occurred at the site. Similar stories were happening when our university was being built by enslaved individuals. Therefore, this piece serves as an opportunity to reflect. Through her piece, Badebo is working towards the reclamation of history and restoration of power to the Black community. We are all very excited to have this piece in our collection and cannot wait until it is on view.
Hello, I'm Roxana Cavon, a sophomore pursuing an interdisciplinary major in environmental and social justice with a minor in art history. I'm proud to introduce Calm Touches by Jonathan Lynden Chase. This work, marked in acrylic paint, oil stick, and marker on canvas, invites the viewer into an immersive tapestry of Black queer identity, pushing the boundaries of truth and reality while inviting us into a space of tranquility and introspection. Chase attended community college in Philadelphia and earned an associate degree in art and design. They went on to obtain a BFA from the University of the Arts, Philadelphia, and an MFA from the Pennsylvania Academy of the Fine Arts. In Calm Touches, layers of vibrant paint, the shimmer of makeup, and the sparkle of glitter coalesce into a visual symphony, portraying figures suspended within the tapestry of urban and domestic landscapes. Through this fusion, Chase challenges and subverts the conventional narratives that have historically misrepresented and excluded Black experiences from the artistic canon. Jonathan Lynden Chase's practice challenges traditional interpretations of queerness and intimacy, offering a contemporary perspective that enriches our understanding of identity and representation. Through its portrayal of solidarity and individuality, Calm Touches creates a sanctuary, a queer space where binaries dissolve and true identities are celebrated. The bodies of 3 abstracted androgynous figures can be seen phasing through the limits of physical space, adopting a cubist quality that reclaims Picasso. Despite the wavering impermanence of their physicality, the colors and forms of their bodies and souls can be seen embracing one another. Within this space of solidarity, the viewer is invited to explore the themes of love, community, spirituality, and subjectivity, prompting introspection and critical reflection. The triadic figures evoke a profound resonance with religious iconography, reminiscent of sacred representations of Jesus and the Madonna. Delicately adorned with yellow markings reminiscent of halos, they usher forth a poignant embodiment of the Black queer Renaissance. But perhaps what is most remarkable about Calm Touches is the dialogue it ignites. As members of the committee deliberated in front of this work, discussions on redefining desexualization unfolded. It became evident that Chase's portrayal of the queer experience transcends the confines of traditional representation. It is intimate, tender, and full of love. It challenges us to see the human body in a new light, devoid of exploitation or objectification. These are bodies existing just because they can. In bringing Calm Touches into the Reece collection, we're not only enriching our understanding of Blackness and queerness, but also initiating a critical dialogue on radical existence within these spaces. This work serves as a catalyst for cultural dialogue, inviting us to expand our perspectives and embrace inclusivity and representation. Calm Touches emerges as a remarkable and timely acquisition. It not only enriches ongoing discourse within the collection, but also initiates a critical dialogue on radical existence within contemporary spaces. This piece captures a poignant sociopolitical echo of movements shaping our contemporary global landscape. On behalf of the Reece Collections Acquisitions Committee, we extend our heartfelt gratitude to Jonathan Lynden Chase and Company Gallery for facilitating an opportunity for us to acquire a piece of such profound cultural significance.
Hello, my name is Skylar Edwards, and I'm a senior computer science major with minors in mathematics and religion. I'm honored to present the acquisition of I Win Again, a collage piece by the artist Melvin L. Nesbitt Jr. I Win Again invites us into a world where the profound and tender relationship between brothers takes center stage. Through this poignant and vibrant artwork, Nesbitt captures the essence of childhood joy and familial bonds that transcend generations. The piece portrays the brothers racing toy cars with infectious enthusiasm, their animated expressions revealing the pure delight of the moment. This composition is a testament to the resilience and strength of Black familial relationships. Nesbitt's use of collage brings not only depth and texture to the scene, but also conveys the rich layers of history culture, and love that shape these connections. The brothers' shared passion for the race cars, combined with various subtle nods to Wendell Scott, the first Black NASCAR driver, symbolizes aspirations and dreams passed down from one generation to the next. In a society where portrayals of Black children are too often distorted or neglected, I Win Again challenges prevailing narratives and offers us a counter-narrative rooted in love, joy, and authenticity. Nesbitt seeks to create a space where Black childhood and innocence are celebrated, idolized, and protected, which is more of a rarity than one might think. Nesbitt's work sheds light on the profound bonds within the Black community and calls upon us to recognize and appreciate the beauty of these everyday moments. By this point, I'm sure you've noticed that I haven't mentioned his extensive formal education and training in the arts. That's because he doesn't have one. We often forget that opportunities to pursue a master's or even a bachelor's degree in art are a privilege limited to few. Our acquisition of I Win Again is not just an investment in art, it's an investment in creating a space to highlight untold stories and unconventional backgrounds. It is an investment in the preservation and celebration of Black culture and heritage. By embracing this piece, we reaffirm our commitment to promoting inclusivity, diversity, and representation within the arts. This artwork will serve as a beacon for meaningful dialogue, reflection, and inspiration for generations to come. This year, the committee wanted to prioritize purchasing Black art from Black-owned galleries. We are pleased to announce that we have purchased this work from Richard Bieber's gallery, as well as the work that my fellow committee member Bridget introduced earlier from Nicola Vessel Gallery. Both of these are part of the small number of Black-owned contemporary art galleries that are located in New York. There's still a lot of work to do in terms of supporting Black artists and galleries, and we hope that these purchases will help bring light to the lack of Black representation in the contemporary art world. I Win Again goes beyond the boundaries of race and ethnicity, inviting viewers of all backgrounds to connect with its universal themes of familial bonds and human connection. Let us take this opportunity to celebrate Melvin L. Nesbitt Jr. for his incredible artistic vision and his contribution to our shared understanding of Black love and joy. Thank you for joining us in the celebration of art and culture.
Hi everyone, I'm Xinyu Wang Lavender, a junior double major in communication and art history. I'm very excited to announce our acquisition of Box Unlimited by Zhang Xiaoli. Zhang Xiaoli is a multidisciplinary artist who transformed techniques from traditional Chinese ink paintings to create contemporary, playful works of art. She studied biology and fine arts at the Chinese University of Hong Kong and earned her master's degree at the Central Academy of Fine Arts in Beijing. She's originally from Guizhou, China, but has lived and worked in 6 studios since 2014, spanning from Hong Kong and Beijing to Toronto. Box Unlimited is an ink painting on silk, centering on a transparent square container. This painting is a recent revisit of her portable landscape series starting in 2015. It explores the concept of home, consumerism, and human nature relationships through its unusual subject matter and materiality. The artist draws inspiration from her living experiences in Hong Kong after college graduation. The box gives her a sense of home and security, but also reminds her of the isolation from the local environment and the detachment from nature. Zhang Xiaoli includes landscapes made of Lego bricks, questioning the influence of consumerism on our connection with traditional values and nature. The painted box contains 3 important symbolic components in the classical gardens of Suzhou in China: plants extending to the left, clouds rising from the right back corner, and rocks sitting inside the box. The plants are pine trees, which have a long-established meaning of longevity in Chinese culture. The clouds are auspicious clouds, commonly believed to bring good fortune to people. Xiaoli also finds compositional inspiration to paint rocks from the Mustard Seed Garden Manual of Painting, a significant painting manual in the 17th century. The way rocks are stacked in a garden is similar to how people use Lego bricks. They appear random, but the intriguing outlines are carefully designed, showing the essence of Chinese gardens. Even though everything is the work of man, it appears to have been created by heaven. Xiaoli uses 2 different approaches to color the rocks. Vibrant colors infuse a more contemporary and artificial feeling on the right side. Monochrome ink applied to the left side refers to Chinese scholars' rocks. More interestingly, Xiaoli doesn't paint after a real Lego model. Instead, she imagines a surrealistic space in her mind. She sketches on paper and then draws directly on silk. a highly unique material closely tied to Chinese history and culture. In this piece, we can see the well-preserved layers of color on the shining silk. Box Unlimited will serve as a gateway for Wake Forest students to question the relationships between originality and replication, the artificial versus the natural. All these issues are the ones we should keep exploring and reflecting on. The dialogue between traditional and contemporary cultures makes it a great educational tool, not only for East Asian studies, but also for contemporary art, philosophy, and religious courses. Box Unlimited fills our collection's gap of Asian artists, but the painting itself is a strong contemporary work for our broader community to learn about different cultural identities and gain a global perspective. Lastly, I would like to thank Fuqiumeng Fine Art on behalf of our committee for making this acquisition possible. We're looking forward to see how Xiaoli's work integrates with other pieces in the Reece collection in the future. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Georgia Catherine Duncan, and I am a junior art history double major in communications. I'm thrilled to announce our acquisition of Dancing Again by Emily Gossio. This work is a drawing made with ballpoint ink and crayon, a medium that serves as a multi-sensory experience for Gossio to utilize tactile sensation as a blind artist. She was a college student, the age of many of us in this room, at Cooper Union School of the Arts when she lost her sight. Her resilience is powerful. She graduated and obtained her MFA at Yale University. We would like to send a heartfelt thank you to Emily Gossio as she graciously allowed us to visit her and her studio during our spring break visit. Dancing Again is a joyous depiction of resilience for Gossio and Lynden, her guide dog. In the center of the drawing stands her cane, serving as the maypole for the playful dancing it facilitates. This cane to Gossio is a symbol for freedom, for living independently. Ribbons outstretched are grasped in the mouth of Lynden, who has been by her side for 10 years. The maypole symbolizes a rebirth of spring and rejuvenation of Lynden in her interconnected relationship with Gossio, nature, and their mutual need for each other. She dances around the maypole, frolicking amongst flowers, and within this work, Gossio focuses on the idea of Lynden and her cane taking up space in the drawing and during her everyday life, in spite of prejudices against people with disabilities within our society. This is the first work in our collection by a blind artist. Not only does this work converse with her own experience as a blind woman artist, but also is in dialogue with Donna Haraway's feminist theory that society is centered around humans and why we need to dismantle the hierarchies of being human-centric. The world is a cohabitation of many species, and humans are quick to be selfish, causing many issues such as global warming, animal abuse, and more. Dancing Again depicts the interconnectedness between the cohabitation of species on Earth by bringing together Lynden and flowers in a communal dance. Shifting the narrative of thinking about the world around us, not just with a human-centric view, can allow Wake Forest community members to think beyond themselves. Drawing is a multi-sensory experience for Gossio, as she utilizes haptics by feeling the waxy texture of crayon and ballpoint left behind to form her drawings. She utilizes memory in her artwork by including memories from when she was sighted and now experiences she has with Lynden. Gossio's resilience as an artist in adapting her practices by utilizing accessibility technology to create Dancing Again makes the work serve as a powerful dialogue facilitator for the Wake Forest community. This acquisition provides the representation of Gossio's experience as a female blind artist, and also brings to our campus community a message of thinking beyond ourselves and cohabitating with all species of the world. Dancing Again facilitates dialogue about accessibility, feminist theory, and breaks down the barriers that systematic ableism instills into our society. Gossio's resilience and biography are an inspiration to campus community members, and her depiction of taking up space, memory, and joy makes this work a multifaceted learning tool for generations of Wake Forest students to come. We would like to thank alumna Janet Davidson Hughes for making this acquisition possible, as we utilized her female identifying artist fund to acquire this work. To know this drawing will exist in our permanent collection for generations to come truly means the world to me and the rest of our committee.
Hi, my name is Jane Alexander, and I'm a junior double majoring in studio art and math. Our next work is by Willa Wasserman, who is a trans artist, painter, and metalworker based in New York City. The work is entitled Making the Shape of the Letter X or No with My Body Reflected in This Northwest-Facing Mirror, version 3. Made in 2023, it is 80 inches tall and 54 inches wide, consisting of oil paint on a patinated bronze panel. It was part of an exhibition in which Wasserman repeatedly depicted herself in the same pose from multiple angles, and the panel can either be hanging so that both the front and back are visible, or mounted. Because it depicts a life-size figure, it gives the illusion of a mirror, a fact that Wasserman takes advantage of. She plays on the simultaneous politicization and avoidance of the bodies of trans people, depicting a trans figure who is both on confrontational full display and also blurred by loose washes of paint and patina. Leaning down with her arms up and head facing forward, Wasserman isn't poised and done up, but rather exists in a position outside of social norms. This pose is a placeholder or appropriation for the place of transgender women in today's society. There's a long history of abjection and visual disgust being used in art in response to structural violence. So we believe that these themes are especially important as we see laws in the United States contesting the place of trans people in society. The material choices are also especially powerful in this work. Wasserman uses the materials of old masters, oil paint and bronze, but changes these materials by combining them in ways the old masters never would. In doing so, the work defies categorization, echoing political debates about the categorization of trans bodies. Change is also an important theme in Wasserman's work. She said that she wants to make a painting with the lifespan of a human. That's not the case here, but making the shape will shift over the years in subtle ways. The silver patina, having been applied in a dark room, will be further oxidized and transmuted over the years. And this change is representative of aspects of trans life, defying norms of static and stable works of art. We were awed by this painting in person especially, and are excited to acquire a work which expands the Reece collection's depictions of the trans experience.
Hi everyone, my name is Sabrina Bacallis and I'm a senior double majoring in mathematical business and studio art with a minor in art history focused on the contemporary art market. Tunji Adonai Jones is an artist I've been fascinated by since I first saw his work in person. This summer I was walking through the Birmingham Museum of Art and I came across Tunji's work. This work is extremely compelling and draws the viewer into his portrayal of his spiritual world. I could not get his style and vibrant colors out of my head. When I was researching artists for this class, I came across Tunji's work again and knew I had seen some of his work before. This is when I began my research on his work and if it was something we could potentially acquire. It is my honor to announce the recent acquisition of Tunji Adonai Jones's Orange Quartet, which is a watercolor and ink on paper. Tunji Adonai Jones is a Yorubic Nigerian artist who was raised in the United Kingdom. He received his BFA from the Ruskin School of Art at the University of Oxford and then continued to achieve his MFA at Yale University School of Art. Adonai Jones's work varies in emotions as well as media, which include oil paintings, watercolors, and lithographs. Considering the themes and goals of the 2024 Student Acquisitions Committee, Adonai Jones's watercolor works fill some of the collection's largest gaps. This makes his newest watercolor, Orange Quartet, the perfect acquisition for Wake Forest's contemporary art collection. Orange Quartet includes a range of reds, oranges, yellows, pinks, and minimal blues. Watercolors and inks have versatility that allows dynamic composition where textures and fluidity dance together, adding depth and movement to the artwork. Adonai Jones is incorporating elements of his Nigerian heritage into his artwork by blending traditional motifs with contemporary art techniques. Through the more rigid and textured feeling in the background to the more softer and fluid shapes of the bodies, this piece harnesses dynamic compositions that invite viewers to reflect on themes of cultural hybridity and belonging while evoking a sense of harmony. Adonai Jones aims to portray the human body in a common language of movement and intimacy, which can transcend linguistic barriers. These paintings represent Black spirituality as a space for boundless possibility that uses the natural world as a metaphor for freedom. Tunji's spiritual figures move between figuration and abstraction in ways that resist conventional representation. In his work, there are references to his Yorubic beliefs, which is why there are 4 figures that are meant to be read as 2 sets of twins. Thus, where the name Orange Quartet comes from, as the 2 twins are working together. In Yoruba culture, twins are considered to possess special powers. They are believed to be one soul and must be cared for accordingly. It is believed that twins are able to bestow happiness, health, and prosperity upon their family, but can also bring about disaster, disease, and death. This is a strong theme throughout all of Tunji's works. In Orange Quartet, his use of colors and watercolor paints adds a sense of unity between the background space and figures. This is Adonai Jones's way to explore issues of identity and representation in contemporary art today. Adonai Jones aims to show balance and grace, composure and confidence that exempts the figures from having to prove themselves. He wants to liberate the figures from the cohesive environment that he experiences as a Black person. Adonai Jones' work also offers many different art historical references from multiple eras that are critical drivers of contemporary art today. Orange Quartet has strong references to Picasso and Matisse's work that explore Cubism, Post-Impressionism, and how the artists were influenced by the aesthetics of African art. It also has influences of Ben Nwanwu and Aaron Douglas, who are modern Black artists who use their art as a way to celebrate their Black identities. They aim to reclaim the value of Blackness and African culture in their work. Tunji Adonai Jones can be considered a bridge between the portrayal of African styles, experiences, and history. This adds a vast amount of value to his work as it pays homage to Adonai Jones's heritage while also pushing art historical boundaries, styles, and themes. This work's exploration of contemporary issues and exchanges of the cultural crossovers between European art and West African art aligns with our overarching themes of diasporic experiences and the human body's interaction with nature. Adonai Jones's work is a cultural hybrid of these themes and various histories that involve different painting techniques. This work adds so much to Wake Forest community in regards of representation and expression, as well as being a visually intriguing work with an electric and vibrant feeling to it. I'm really excited to see it around campus.
On behalf of the Reece Collections Acquisition Committee, I extend our heartfelt gratitude to the artists who have entrusted us with their remarkable creations, as well as to the galleries and our generous supporters and collaborators who have made this endeavor possible. As we eagerly anticipate the unveiling of these remarkable acquisitions in the fall, we invite you to stay tuned for an enriching array of programming curated by our committee. Your support and engagement are vital to our ongoing efforts to expand and enrich our collection. Thank you, and may the Reece Collection continue to shine as a beacon of creativity and inclusivity for generations to come.